Has anyone else noticed that the response on the podcast, YouTube, independent media side to the craze that Donald Trump and the Republicans received going into the 2024 election has been met with almost the reverse effect for the Democrats? While they've found voices and they have their they've answered the extreme, right? So they want to point out the divide in MAGA right now. And a lot of people don't realize that there's two different MAGAs. There's MAGA 1.0 and MAGA 2.0. And MAGA 1.0 is the ones that voted for Trump 1.0. They probably have a Make America Great Again hat, and no knocking them, but that's a whole group of people right there. But the 2.0 are the people that voted for Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and then went and voted for Trump for the first time, seeing the major shift that the Democratic Party has made from JFK, Clinton, even Barack Obama, to somehow this anti-American, socialist, democracy is bad, capitalism is bad, and they've allowed their minority to take over the majority. And for a while, their opposition has been opposed Trump. They seem to be stuck on this boycott Israel thing that has gone from, again, minority to majority. But their response, you look at these podcasters and these YouTubers and TikTokers as the answer to bring back the Trump 2.0ers, the MAGA 2.0ers that never thought they'd vote for him, but because they believe in American democracy, believe in the right for Israel's existence, they found themselves voting for Donald Trump on 2.0. And these voices, they're convinced that they're bringing the voices back. They're bringing the votes back. They're getting the guys back, guys like me back. They're not. There's some great voices on the left that if they shifted their strategy from opposing Trump and to actual real policies, they can make a difference. Now, the extremism is going to cancel each other out. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly is the same as Mehdi Hasan, Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian. They all cancel each other out, and Candace Owens. All six of them belong in a loony bin, left, right. They're all crazy. Now, the people that make a little sense, that if they got their act together, can actually make an impact, Mike Nellis, Brian Tyler Cohen, I'll even throw Aaron Parnas and Adam Mockler in there. They can actually make a difference, but they're so stuck on a gotcha moment still. And they don't realize how they alienate so many people from a party that don't feel like they don't know where they belong anymore. And so they found themselves stuck somehow either voting for Trump or not voting at all. And if you think the Republicans are going to go the way of J.D. Vance, you don't understand politics. It's Marco Rubio for sure. Vance is not the successor, and Rubio is the one that speaks to the majority, and he's got the resume to speak to it. I don't know who can actually go against Rubio other than maybe a Wes Moore who can speak, I think, from a different standpoint. I think Bashir can get it around. I don't know about Shapiro. I like Shapiro, but he seems to be stuck in this following the script. He's going to have to go against his own faith if he wants to be any bit of popular in his party and his belief of Israel's existence. But that seems to be where Gavin's going. AOC's already been there. Kamala's, going there. But this is not the answer back. The Democrats are going from a party that speaks from a tent standpoint to a very small pitchfork on the corner of the road. I don't know how they expect to win a majority when you look at how they lost all the swing states in they call it a close election. It was not a close election. It was called midnight that night. So I don't know how they plan on winning back the majority electorate that lands in the middle, that have social liberal beliefs but fiscal common sense. And when it comes to this alienation that we get from them, it does not help their cause. So I call on the Mike Nellises, the Brian Tyler Cohens, the Aaron Parnases. Let's have conversations that don't include the names Donald Trump in there, that don't include boycotting Israel, as if Israel is the only country that America donates foreign policy money to, or that has any sort of agreement when it comes to trade and weapons with. Look at the rest of the world and the rest of how we spend our funds, and look at the ROI we get when it comes to our partnership with Israel and how they test our weaponry and how we learn from them and how they help us advance. And it's a partnership that not many countries give. So Democrats, speak to policy. Speak to common sense. Get people like me back. Look at leaders like John F. Kennedy. Speak to common sense. And that's how you win voices like me back.